What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Hopefully doing great. I just wanted to do a quick overview of the market at the moment. Last update I posted was around January 7th, and we were just stalling around here, and the idea that prices would continue to chop more was presented in my last Twitch stream around January 7th, and I'm pretty sure I shared the idea that the prices for BTC are likely to somewhat indulge in more range if we come around this high and continue to like SFP. Even though this SFP is barely an SFP, but there seems to be quite a lot of delta that is sitting up just right into this top right here, and that sort of pushed the prices down and led to a local high being formed. For the moment, I would expect the prices push a little higher, and knowing that it's like Sunday at the moment, we would probably push a little higher into the weekly open, where we also have our single print just sitting right around here. So we could possibly push into the single print, and based off of whatever PA we could get into the single print, if it's supposed to be a distribution, there's another pivot here that's NPOC. If you sort of get a distributive structure being formed right around the weekly open, the single print, and the NPOC that is sitting right here on the lower time frame, we would likely end up forming a lower high that would lead for a move much further down to the POI that everybody else was waiting for when prices were chopping around here, which is something that I discussed in my last stream as well. Whenever you're trading like BTC or Ethereum pairs overall, you want to be looking out for low holding rather than a sweep of lows. These are like crypto majors, and the structure I prefer on them most of the time is structure that looks similar to this, where the lows aren't punished and prices continue much higher until later on to sweep them. And the reason for that is just accumulation of liquidations. That is like a lot of people would continue to like short these higher lows, and they would continue to do so until to a point where those people act as a driving factor for the trend that is being formed. That is, they act as like fuel for an ignition for a much higher trend. Like people that have shorted here expecting for prices to sort of like sweep the lows, and they didn't get it, are now being liquidated all the way on the move up. Eventually it comes to a point where price actually like hits a POI where it looks very it looks sort of trappish, where there's more people that are entering in an opposite trend. What that does explain is that the fuel that was supposed to be like liquidated here somewhat like dried out, and now there's like way more buyers entering the market around these highs, and they were not able to like push prices much higher. Now that that hasn't happened, then prices are much higher. We somewhat like move the price back into the range that we were trying to avoid, and we have been in for like almost since 22nd November. That's almost a month and a half at this point, and that's almost a month and a half at this one, yeah. And for the current PA, I'm looking for like hopefully a Sunday scam pump. If we do not get a scam pump, the other idea would be that we somewhat like break this low and then sweep this low right here, and then continue back up to the NPOC level right here. And again, based off of like whatever PA we get around the NPOC, if it's distribution or if it's like accumulation would look sort of like a slow grinding structure right here, and that would just continue to carry prices on till much higher point, and that would like sort of lead for me as a flip of this range that is like formed right here. And that slow grind structure would be a long for me all the way up to this NPOC level right around here, possibly till the mid range of the May till October range, and we would continue on to the trend all the way to the all-time highs if we manage to flip the POC right around here. This is something that I discussed in my last Twitch stream as well, and we are just sort of like formulating and developing that PA right now. But if you do get a distribution right here, I would definitely be looking for a short. It stops high and they're looking for a sweep now, because what I was discussing was like this sort of PA is not punished at all during current trend, but this is punished afterwards when there's actual structure supporting it. But for Forex, most of the time what happens for Forex is that this sort of low holding structure is usually punished right away because it's more of a mature market. And then these lows are taken and then prices go much higher. This is very common in Euro, and a lot of people do recognize this sort of setup. Which is why like you want to have this sort of differentiation between specific pairs and understand why sometimes the level you're waiting for will probably never come, and if it is to come, it will come based off of proper structure later on, because this is a level that I know like half of CT was waiting for. I don't know why. It's just like you have to let price develop, and you have to let some sort of crime happen and develop at one point, especially if you're trading BTC and Ethereum. Talking about Ethereum, let's just go take a real quick look at Ethereum. I think I shared like a higher time frame long for Ethereum when we were like around here, dumping all the way from here, which let me just give you an idea what it looked like. It was sort of a spot buy for me that I would like sort of buy Ethereum all the way from here, looking to TP like Ethereum much higher, around like 5k and higher digits, and probably add to my entry right around 1.7k or even lower, and I would like keep my invalidation much lower, but I'm only filled on like one entry that is like this around here, and I managed to just like long it for like 2x, and so far it's still developing pretty good. Does not look like it's a downtrend at the moment because the trend looks to be shifting, unless and until it like sort of pops up with BTC into the distributed POI and then just rejects and then completely changes the structure, because the structure itself looks like it's still somewhat compressing, and based off of wherever this sort of compression like breaks down or breaks higher is where we are going to like carry on the trend, because on the hard time frame it looks like it's an uptrend, on the mid time frame it looks like it's in a downtrend. So you have to just like play this as a compression and play it till range while having a bit of a bullish bias, because BTC does not look that bad. That is my overall look on the markets at the moment, and if I could take a look at the order flow as well. Just judging by whatever we see on the chart, there's a lot of delta that is sitting right into the highs, and this is not the sort of delta that you want to see right around here on the single print, and the NPSC that's like sitting just right around here. If you do get to see a lot of delta like this being pushed into a purposefully made lower high, then I would definitely try to like sort of exit my longs on Ethereum and have a neutral bias afterwards. So because this to me still looks like compression and range as we're back into the value that was developing, and you can just like sort of draw this around here. And if you do like continue to reject from the value, we are still under value area. If we do get more rejection from here, I would likely expect for a low to be formed around these lows, which is the POI that I'm looking for right around here, and then continue on to trade longs around discount somewhere around 87k, and then play for much higher later on. This is all there it is for now for BTC and Ethereum. If I like sort of make assumptions that we're going to break down, then we're going to go here, and then we're going to go lower, that would be quite a sort of a stretch. Or if I'd like give people hope that we're just going to go all the way from this to the ATH, that would be quite of a stretch as well. So just play level to level until levels are being broken, and the next level is much far away than the current price. That is all I'd like to say. Stay safe and enjoy your weekend. Thank you guys.